So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining in. So, we'll start with a silent meditation and for 5 minutes. So, just as we usually do, we'll stay with the breath. For 5 minutes, we'll stay with the breath. And in case we get lost with the thoughts in between, we will get our attention back to the breath. So, we'll do this for 5 minutes. Yeah. Thoughts will come and go, and we'll just choose not to go into thoughts and stay with the breath. I know that I am breathing. I know that thoughts are here. I am the knowing. So just staying put as this knowing. staying as knowing for the last 1 minute. So this is the knowing when Kabir says, Chadariya chini re chini, ज्यों की त्यों दर्दीनी, he says, that as it was given to me, I did not taint it, tarnish it, I kept it as it is. So this knowing, this consciousness or awareness, as we may call it, it is untarnished, without any color, always pure, innocent, and without any past or future baggage. And when I stay as this knowing, then I stay okay. Then I stay okay with everything that comes and goes. Yeah. So just, we need to, from time to time, we all need reminders because we are born in a forgetfulness. We don't know who we truly are. And it's good if we have some or the other tools to remind ourselves. Yeah. So I have 2 short things to show us today, and we can collectively then reflect upon it. So I'll just put it on. So the first one is something on Maitri, which is friendship also, and compassion also. And there is a little short clip on Maitri, being your closest companion.
Maitri is the basis of compassion. So I want to talk about that first. It's a Sanskrit word that is often translated as unconditional friendship with oneself. And this is very hard to come by, unconditional acceptance, you could say, of yourself, unconditional friendship with oneself. It was much more common that we disapprove of ourselves and that we denigrate ourselves. Like I saw a cartoon recently, and there's this man kneeling by his bed, looking upward, with his hands grasped in prayer, and he's saying, I asked you as nicely as I could to make me a better person, but apparently you couldn't be bothered. So Maitri is about beginning to make friends with oneself, not really thinking that it's going to come from the outside anymore. And as you know, we all look to the outside, to other people, to spiritual practice, meditation, jogging. We look all over the place to try to make ourselves feel good about ourselves. And you know, affirmations are all about that. You sort of proclaim, I am smart. I am good looking. I am worthy of being loved. And you sort of scream it, you know, and all the time something in you is saying, yes, you are. So where does this friendship, a kind of being able to relax with yourself, that's really what Maitri is, feeling at home with your own mind and your own body. Where does that come from? That's a very important question. Because not only is it the basis of compassion, it's the basis of, it's like the seed of happiness or well-being or glad to be alive. So where does it come from? And I think my opening statement was that all of this has a lot to do with our relationship with pain, our relationship with difficulty. So the Buddha had very revolutionary teaching. And one of the fundamental things that he said was, in a human life, there's pain. And a certain amount of pain is inevitable, such as growing old, such as dying. That's the most inevitable one. Such as illness, such as the more that you love, and really, and loving is something that brings tremendous sense of well-being to all of us, to actually love somebody and feel loved. But the more stronger that is, then the more sadness and grief there is at the loss of that person. And such as if you put your hand in fire, it burns. So there's a lot of discomfort in life. And the fundamental teaching of the Buddha was not to struggle against the pain in our life. And that is not, that's not the kind of news that we really like to hear.
Yeah, give me a second. I don't know if it's over or not. I'll have to go through the video. Sorry. Yeah, so it's over. I thought maybe there was a video in between. So let's take a 2 minutes pause and then we can talk about it. Yeah, anyone wants to share any reflections on what we just heard or anything you want to share? So actually why I chose this particular video was the clip, because I see that often when, as she was sharing, the situations are discomforting and painful, and many a times you just can't avoid it, it's just there. The pain is just there. It may be emotional pain, physical pain. And I see that most often what we do is that we leave ourselves, we abandon ourselves. And when I'm saying I abandon myself, I mean to say that I am lost in the forest of my thoughts. So I have stories about the pain and I'm lost there. And when I'm lost in the stories about the pain, I'm not with my own self. And in that, I make it even harder to go through it. While if the emotional or mental conflict, confusion, or pain is there, and I make it a practice, I take it a practice as a practice on the path. I don't want, there is nobody in me which wants to avoid it. So then what happens is then I can stay within the body, not in the thoughts, connecting with that pain in the body and staying with that. Just like, if a friend is dying or if your friend is not well, if a child is not well, we just sit next to the child. We don't abandon the child. We may not be able to help at times. Maybe the person is dying and there is hardly we can do anything about it. But we just hold the person's hand and be next to the person, or hold the sick child's hand or be next to the child, that I am here. And I think in terms of others, we may be doing better. But when it comes to being compassionate to my own self, being next to my own self in troubled times, then I'm not there. So something in me as if wants to say that I am not leaving my side, no matter what. Things may go really up and down in the external world. People who you love, maybe, one may lose people whom one loves. And that is inevitable because everything that we see is fleeting, and we have hardly any control over that. So to completely come to acceptance with the external situation, that yes, this is how it is, and can I be okay with it? Can I just not leave my side if things are not okay outside according to my thinking? I am not going to leave my side. That Maitri, Maitri also is friendship, and along with that, as she was sharing, compassion. Because if I'm not being able to compassionate towards myself, I'll not be able to be friends with myself. So that really resonated with me a lot, because I often see that when difficult situations come, which will come, we cannot avoid them, we often leave our side, we abandon ourselves. And that makes things even worse. Yeah. So I don't know if there is anything more, if anyone wants to share. I have something more which we can see and maybe then reflect over it. Anything anyone wants to share? Or maybe silence. Okay, so I'm then going ahead with the next clip. The next one is about the physical changes that the impact that meditation has on the brain. Usually whenever we are meditating, it's as if some intangible things are happening and we are not sure whether it's helping me, not helping me, not sure. But if we stick to a little guided practice, which we know, is working for me, it also leaves impressions in the brain. Now, brain is a physical thing, so I can have a proof that something is changing. So let us watch this. So there is this scientist who says that after he talked with the Dalai Lama, he started, a neuroscientist, he started this new experiment on with meditators and non-meditators, and he would share about that.
And anxiety and fear, why can't you use those same tools to study kindness and to study compassion? When we first proposed this, most people looked at us like we were absolutely nuts. But here's the experiment. What we do is we bring people into the laboratory and we put a kind of metal plate that we strap onto a person's wrist. And through this plate, we can circulate water very, very rapidly, and we can regulate the temperature of the water. And I could tell you that this is damn hot. It feels like it's burning your skin. So we just give them one experience of this so that they know what we're talking about. They have the direct experience. Then we bring them into the formal experiment, and they're in the MRI scanner. And we tell them we're going to give them 2 tones. When they hear one tone, which is a high-pitched tone, beep, then they know that in 10 seconds, they're going to get zapped with this very painful stimulus. If they hear a low tone, boop, they know that they will just feel warm, but it won't be hot. Very simple. So we have people who've meditated, and we have controls, people who've never meditated, their age and gender matched, and they go through this experiment. Now, we know where in the brain the pain circuits reside, so we know exactly where to look. And when we look at those circuits in the non-meditating controls, the moment we present the high-pitched tone, beep, their brain responds as if it received the actual pain. So nothing's happened other than they got a tone. But their brains are responding as if they got the heat. When you do that with the meditators, they receive the tone, beep, nothing happens. There's absolutely no significant change in the pain matrix. They're flat. Then when the actual heat comes on, both groups respond. But then as soon as the pain goes off, the meditators come right back down to baseline. Whereas the controls persist. Their pain circuits are still reverberating. It's as if they can't shut them off. They're ruminating about the pain. The conclusion that our work has led us to, very simply, but we think it's a very radical conclusion, and that is that well-being is a skill. Well-being can actually be learned. It can be nurtured. And it's a skill that can enable us to live a happier life. When human beings first evolved on this planet, none of us were brushing our teeth. This is a learned behavior. It's not part of our genome. And if we spent even the short amount of time that we spend every day brushing our teeth, nurturing our mind, this world would be a very different place.
So taking a 2 minutes silent break, and then we'll open for reflection. So, just what he shared, this is what we do. Imagine an incident happens in my life and it brings me pain. It brings me hurt, emotional, mental, physical hurt, could be any kind of hurt. Now, after the moment is gone, what we do to ourselves, the torture that we do to ourselves is we still ruminate about it, just like he shared in the non-meditating controls people. There, in non-meditators, when the stimulus was given, they feel the pain, and even with the tone, not the heated water is not given, even with the tone of the heated water that now it's going to come, that also creates a lot of stimulus. And even when the stimulus is gone, the heated water is not there anymore, they're not there anymore, they keep on, like something in the brain is still having that pain. It's like phantom pain. Now the stimulus is gone physically, but the pain is still felt. And this is what we do to our life, in our lives, that the emotional hurt, mental hurt was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 day ago, say. But the moment I think about it, as if the pain comes again in my being. And not only even I think about it, imagine that I have to meet that person who brought pain to me. The moment I see that person, as if the body aches, there is emotional, mental pain in the body. So again, and what am I doing? I'm actually reliving the past. And it's a self-torture. It's a self-torture that I'm doing to myself, which I don't realize. I feel that I have no option other than this. And not only past, it could be a future thing that I'm worried about. The moment I think about it, something in me goes in pain. So what can we do about it? Because we can do something about it. Now, that's where the practice of staying in the moment comes, staying present to whatever is. So right now, pain is there. Can I just stay with the physical pain, the sensation of the pain in the body? Because if I overthink about it and extrapolate in my head about what may happen, what will happen, what had happened, then there is no end to it, and I self-inflict this torture upon me. I'm not in the present at all. But when I leave, I consciously make a choice that I'm not going to go in the forest of thoughts, which I have the capacity to, but I know that it's torture, and I pain myself when I do that. Then I choose to be here in the body with whatever sensation, physical sensation there is, because the physical sensation brings us back to the body here and now. And then along with the clinging to the breath, staying with the thread of breath, I stay present to myself, and that connects us to the first clip that we saw, being compassionate to my own self, staying next to myself. And this is what he was sharing, that this has to be practiced, because the default is that I go into thoughts. And why is the default like that? Because we have to evolve. If everything was divine on this planet, then there would be no evolution necessary. But since this play is about evolution, evolution from a better person to a better, to a better, to a better, further better, there is no end to our betterment. So then we have some challenges on which I can work, so that I can have the joy of progress. That look, 2 days ago I was like this, and now I'm practicing and something is changing. So that gives us joy. Yeah, so I'll stop myself there. And yeah, any last reflections or comments, anyone?
Um, I just one small thing. You've already covered everything very beautifully. But yesterday I was listening to a video of Thay, and in that somebody had asked him a question that you tell us to be in the present, but I find the present too painful. So how do I stay with the present if there's so much pain in it? So he basically, it was a long answer, but one thing was that he said that we have to recognize that, this escaping doesn't work. Like, although the present would be painful, to say a lot of times we have this, not lot of times, I mean, that is a default, right? To avoid, to run away. Like, it could be, okay, you go for a movie, you go for a drink, you go out, whatever things that we keep doing to be anywhere else but here, just similar to those outside activities, whenever we go to the past or the future, and that's where we are usually, is similar to going, say, for a movie or something, because somehow it's not real, right? Past is just images, things that we don't even remember totally, but there are certain feelings that we are stuck to. It's like we choose, okay, this is what happened. We don't even. So just the thing was that he kept saying this, that the past and the future, they are not real. And the only real reality is the present, which I have right now. And if I keep running away to past, future, movie, outside mall, the pain would remain, right? That's what you were saying, that it would remain unless I go through it and transcend it. Like, that's the basic purpose, to go beyond it, to be more today than what I was yesterday. I mean, I can, of course, still do it, but at least knowing that, okay, this is what I am doing, I cannot face it right now, but maybe tomorrow or maybe after, when I am done with this thing, maybe I'll have more courage. Then just, I think, just the awareness also that, okay, I'm avoiding it right now, make takes me closer to facing it, even. So just this introduction that this is how my machine works, it feels like, okay, this is something very special or very individual, but that's how everybody is, right? Like, we want to avoid, but just this awareness that this is how I am processing pain, but this is my possibility, that I can also stay with it and feel it fully, and then it will actually not be there anymore, or the intensity would decrease, or it would change, or I will see something else. Is also something I can experiment and see for myself where that takes me, because I've done the default long enough. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Mother, mother in one of her words on pain and suffering, she says that in the depths of the suffering, you find a light. Now, I take it as that if I am suffering, if I am in pain, then I have not yet found the light. It means I have not gone to the depth. That the journey is not over yet. I've maybe given up midway. And as you were sharing that if we continue being with whatever is, whatever is the isness of the moment, the pain is there, we do get hurt. It's not that the hurt is not there. The mental hurt, emotional hurt, physical hurt, all kinds of hurt we go through all the time. And if I just be with that hurt, not trying to push it away, just like I will be with a friend or with a crying child, I'll be with a crying child, I'll be with a sick child. I think then something transforms. But if I still have the darkness with me of the suffering and pain, then maybe I need to stay more, not leave yet, stay more, hold the hands of pain even a little bit more. Yeah. And just to reiterate that staying with the pain does not mean thinking about pain. I think this is where, just like Taru shared that, Thich Nhat Hanh was sharing that if I go to past or if I go to future, then I'm not actually with the pain. So how to be with the pain if it is there, any kind of pain? To be in the body with the breath. When I'm in the body, then I'm actually with the sensations of whatever physical sensations, tightness, constriction, uneasiness, staying with that and not escaping that. Yeah. And again, it just a matter of practice that I choose to be here, choose to be here. Yeah. And something shifts and we don't even know how it shifted. Really, I think one has to really practice this if in order to experience the magical effect of this, staying with the physical sensation of either emotional, mental pain or physical pain, not leaving it. I'm going to be with you. And then once we have been with that enough, something shifts. We transcend it. We transcend it. Yeah. All right. So anything more? Anyone? Sorry to begin the morning with pain. That was not my intention, but I think it just connected. But yeah, such as it's a fact of life, Pain is a fact of life. We cannot avoid it. So better be friends with it. Yeah. Okay. So yes, Rajni. Yes.
Yeah, Monica, thank you so much for almost pushing me to come over here and join this. So, all the things that you have shared, and including what Taru also mentioned, they're very, very relatable for me about Maitri and about that wellness can be practiced. It's about the skin and about being with the pain. Yeah. So actually, this was a question in my mind that how do I be with the pain? So thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, Rajni. I think I didn't push you at all, so it was just.
It was like not like pushing, but then when you said no that you come, for the meditation thing. Actually, I wanted to, but then there were so many other things going around that I just could not. But I think I just wanted one, like one force.
Yeah,
So
yeah, good that I could serve that force.
yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so
most
much.
welcome, and good that you could join.
Yes,
Good to have you.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
great. Yeah. Okay. Have a good day, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Monica. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.